Arthur William Edgar O'Shaughnessy was a British poet and herpetologist of Irish descent born in London. He is most remembered for his ode beginning with the words, "We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams," which has been set to music several times. Biography. At the age of 17, in June 1861, Arthur O'Shaughnessy received the post of transcriber in the Library of the British Museum, reportedly through the influence of Sir Edward Bulwer-Lytton. 2 years later, at the age of 19, he became a herpetologist in the museum's zoological department. From 1874 until his premature death in 1881, he described 6 new species of reptiles, and after his death he was honored in the specific name, O'Shaughnessy, of 4 new species of lizards described by Albert Gunther and George Albert Bullinger. However, O'Shaughnessy's true passion was for literature. He published his first collection of poetry, Epic of Women, in 1870, followed 2 years later by Lays of France in 1872, and then Music and Moonlight in 1874. When he was 30, he married and did not produce any more volumes of poetry for the last 7 years of his life. He died at age 36 from a chill after walking home from the theatre on a rainy night. His last volume, Songs of a Worker, was published posthumously in 1881. The artists Dante Gabriel Rossetti and Ford Madox Brown were among O'Shaughnessy's circle of friends, and in 1873 he married Eleanor Marston, the daughter of author John Westland Marston and sister of the poet Philip Burke Marston. Together, he and his wife wrote a book of children's stories titled Toyland. They had 2 children together, both of whom died in infancy. Eleanor died in 1879, and O'Shaughnessy himself died in London 2 years later from the effects of a chill. Quote, "He is buried in Kensal Green Cemetery." The anthologist Francis Turner Palgrave in his work The Golden Treasury declared that of the modern poets, despite his limited output, O'Shaughnessy had a gift in some ways second only to Tennyson, and a haunting music all his own. Quote, "He was also alluded to by Neil Gaiman in his extremely popular series The Sandman in the guise of the envoy of the endless Ebly O'Shaughnessy. Ode by far the most noted of any his works are the initial lines of the ode from his book Music and Moonlight. Sir Edward Elgar set the ode to music in 1912 in his work entitled The Music Makers, Opus 69. The work was dedicated to Elgar's old friend Nicholas Kilburn, and the first performance took place at the Birmingham Triennial Music Festival in 1912. Performances available include The Music Makers, with Sir Adrian Boult conducting the London Philharmonic Orchestra in 1975, paired with Elgar's Dream of Gerontius, and the 2006 album Sea Pictures paired with The Music Makers. Simon Wright conducting the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra. Zoltan Kodaly also set the ode to music in his work Music Makers, dedicated to Merton College, Oxford, on the occasion of its 700th anniversary in 1964. Cultural usage. The line, "We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams," has been quoted or used in many different media. A few examples include, spoken by Willy Wonka in Willy Wonka and Amp, the Chocolate Factory, used as the opening line of Mod Sun's song Birds and Bikes, from the album All By Myself, used as the opening line of Living Legend's song Nothing Less, included in Motivation speech by Herb Brooks before the U.S. hockey team beat the Russian team in the 1980 Winter Olympics. Line from Willy Wonka sampled in the Aphex Twin song We Are the Music Makers, for the album Selected Ambient Works 85 to 90. 1992. The first two lines were used by Cuff Dam and Amp Plant as lyrics on the single "We Are the Dream Makers." The first stanza is quoted by Vivek Lindfors's character at the end of the 1995 Henry Jaglom film Last Summer in the Hamptons, used in the 2003 High Contrast remix of Barcelona, originally produced by DK and Amp Epsilon. Quoted by the character Roger in Season 5, Episode 6 of the television series American Dad. Used in the Buckethead song Seaside from Blueprints, the first line is a quote of Gene Wilder's line, often quoted in the Church of Scientology's Celebrity Center's Celebrity magazine. Spoken by King Unique in Tyran, King of the Invisible Land, in the 2011 CD Balance 019 mixed by Henry Size. The first two lines are used in the intro to D-Block and Amp Estefan's Dreamers of Dreams. The first two lines are used in the intro of the Bass Nectar album Motions of Mutation, sampled from Gene Wilder's character in Willy Wonka. Used in Brian Kearney's mashup John O'Callaghan and Amp Heatbeat vs. Neens and Amp Pascal Felice Plus Lilas. Used in Lange's 2013 track Imagineer. The first two lines are used in the track Lonely Soul by Direct. Most recently used in 2015 in Bliss and ESOXFKA Twigs, 2 weeks. Line from Willy Wonka sampled and used in 808 States song Nefertiti on the album X.L. The entire ode is quoted in the opening of Dreamers of Dreams, an anthology of web fiction, an ebook anthology series of online fiction, as well as inspiring the name of the series. Used the line, "We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams," in the spoken words of Gene Wilder at the beginning of the original song written by Rob Bach Dream on YouTube. The full poem quote was also included in the description of the song, Dream. The first two lines are used in the intro to Bastila's Dreams from Other People's Heartache, PT. 2 album. First verse used in BBC TV advert for its own programming, 2013. One man with a dream, at pleasure, shall go forth and conquer a crown, and 3 with a new song's measure can trample an empire down, was used by Mac Reynolds as the opening dedication his novel, Trample an Empire Down. The line, "Each age is a dream that is dying, or one that is coming to birth," is quoted in Franklin D. Roosevelt's second inaugural address. Bibliography. An Epic of Women, Lays of France, Music and Moonlight, Poems and Songs. Toyland. Songs of a Worker, Arthur O'Shaughnessy. Music Maker by Molly Whittington, Egan Blue Coat Press. Arthur O'Shaughnessy, His Life and Works by Jordan Kistler.